You know, excuse me. I get more of a joy just watching the chat pre-roll roll in before the show even starts. Like, I think I could just do that instead, but we can't. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a Tuesday night. It is 5:30 on the Pacific Coast, and my name is Rich Teslo. This is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. I was gone last week. I was on travel, which I'm going to talk about because I got some fun things and some weird things to talk about, interesting things. I see that the chat is blowing up, like I said. A lot of great people in there. A lot of people that I know from our Discord. Hey, he's starting out the show with the Discord plug. How about that? So we'll do our housekeeping like we always do. First, again, my name is Rich Teslo. This is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. This week, I am doing this solo. My producer, Brandon, is not producing, so if it sucks, it is my fault. It's really my fault anyway, but whatever. He's traveling back to Oregon. Looking forward to having him back here in my time zone, be able to help out. As always, the whole idea of this chat is to, the stream, whatever this thing is we're doing here, is to talk about Homelab, talk about tech stuff, be nerdy together, share our common likes and interests. So throw your questions, thoughts in the chat, and I will do my best to try to throw it on screen. Ray K32 said, hey, from DC. Ray, I was in your neck of the woods last week. That's where I was. Anyway, by the way, DC is downtown DC is such a beautiful city. It's so clean. It's weird. Then you just drive a little bit outside and it just looks like every other city. Anyway, and my official Discord plug. We have a Discord. That's where many of the people I see in the chat here are actually from. So go check it. You have to click on the thing and do the thing and go to the links and you're there and boom, you're there. But great place to hang out with people like me, like you, talk shop, ask questions. I'm really proud. Like if there's one thing I'm super proud of in this whole YouTube thing, I mean, there's a few things, but I'm really proud of the community because it's, growing that, building that community, meeting you awesome people. Anyway, whatever. There was a quick chat in here that I did want to get to. Grish said, throw us up on screen. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do my best here to try to catch this. How's Proxmox at work? Why did that not show up? Show. No, that's the wrong one. Dang, it keeps moving on me. See, I told you I was going to screw this up. How's Proxmox at work? Production-wise, I can say that I am using it as or my company is using it kind of like as a test platform to do some VDI work, poor man's VDI, if you know what I mean. So, and it's working well, and we're using Ceph, and there's 6 hosts in it though, so there's that. But it's not running the enterprise. Okay, well, I want to unshow that now. Cool. Like I always do, I want to start this off with a wonderful little story, a little personal, little nugget, just little. And there might be a part in this, I hate to preface this, but there might be a part in this that actually offends some people. And if so, I want to say ahead of time, I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But after you hear the story, maybe you'll understand. I went last week to Washington, D.C. for the Nutanix NEXT 2025 conference. We'll talk about that later in the show. That's something I want to talk about, some interesting stuff. The thing I really want to talk about was landing in the airport, hopping in an Uber, and going for a ride. So, we get there, I book the Uber. The dudes they're right by there, right? There's just so many Ubers coming and going. So we hop in, myself and a coworker of mine. We hop in this Uber, and the Uber driver is just the nicest, most gregarious, funny, happy, just like, he is fun. In a way that is just like, you get an Uber, you're like, what's this going to be like? But, the guy, we talked, it was like a 40-minute drive because I may have booked into Dulles instead of Ronald Reagan. So you DC natives will probably laugh at me from that. But I booked into Dulles. And we're driving back and we're talking about politics. I wrote some notes for this. So I just want to make sure I go. We're talking about technology. While we're there, we're just talking about everything. And the guy is funny and smart and like, he functions like a normal human being. Then we're about 30 minutes into this 45-minute drive, and he's in the driver's seat, right, and I'm on the back right passenger side. And so I can see his eyes through the rearview mirror. He's looking at me, and his happy-go-lucky demeanor, his positive, just like fun dude personality, just like 180 stops, and he looks at me in the rearview mirror, and he says, aliens are real. But we had it all wrong. The aliens don't look like men. The aliens look like women, and they're capturing men and they're cloning them. And at this moment, we had just gone from hilarity to, do I need to like silent dial the police? Here's the thing, guys. I'm looking at this dude's eyes, right? He's serious. He's not like, I want to see if this guy will laugh at my joke. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Tell me more about the women aliens cloning men. And it's just like, it just got silent. The car got awkward. It just got cold, like, getting shivers just thinking about it. And my coworker who's sitting next to me, he's like, right? And he's on his phone. He's like, just trying to not be part of this conversation. There's just this deafening silence. The car is quiet. And then, just like it started, the guy's like back to being funny and just normal, and like nothing happened. And I still don't know what happened. Like, if this was one of those like hidden camera things where there's like a hidden camera in the vehicle and it's like, oh, surprise, you're on, you got punked, whatever. I don't know. Insert goofy name here. But it wasn't. This dude was serious. This guy was batty. And so here's the thing I'm going to say that might offend some people, and I'm sorry. And I want you guys in the chat who are listening to tell me if you agree with me. This is bi-directional, baby. I want you guys to tell me what you think, what your feelings are about what I'm about to say. But I'm starting to believe that there's no such thing as a normal Uber or Lyft driver. I'm just starting to feel like if they're doing that full time, there might be a reason why they're doing it full time. And it might not just be because they want to make extra money. Like, maybe they think aliens are women, or aliens dressed, shaped, formed like women. Like, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, and they're cloning men. And so no, Martin, I can say that I was not captured and cloned. Although I really like to have two of me just to make my life a lot easier. Can you imagine if you could have like two of you, how much less you'd have to do in life? You could just like tap out, like, there we go, it's your turn, clone. You'd have to buy two of everything though, because then you'd have to dress the same. You'd have to like do like a beard. You'd have to make sure the beards look the same because people start to notice. But anyway, it was a incredibly strange, incredibly odd experience. The chat is on fire tonight. Yes, they're cloning man. I'm not going to sing anymore because I don't like content strikes, and I don't know who owns that song. But I definitely don't want to be. I don't hit with the content strike because I said hallelujah. It's cloning man. There, cloning man. Okay, so all right. So no one in here is actually saying that they disagree or agree with me. And I'm sorry if I offend. If somebody's an Uber driver and they're normal, you are a star, shining star amongst a sea of oddities, and so good on you. But we'll move on. What do you say? So it was certainly an experience. Like, you're trapped in a guy's car. We're tooling down some highway in DC or some interstate, whatever. Like, I can't just open a door and like tuck and roll. Like, what am I supposed to do? When I have a coworker in the car, I can't tuck and roll, leave him behind. And two, like, I'm gonna get run over by whoever's tailgating behind because DC traffic is crazy. Oh yeah, look at all these great comments. Yeah, like Shout Technology said, if you had more of you, two of you, or clones of you, you could do more Homelab projects. That would be good. I think I would probably get more things done around the house. That's for sure. Let's move on. I do want to talk about just another interesting thing that just happened today, because I think it's important to a lot of people in the world, especially people like, it's about ISPs. I'm going to share my screen real quick. What do you guys say? Let's turn stuff. So another interesting story. This was something that happened today. Cool. This is in the Pacific Northwest where I'm at. Washington, a bit of Oregon, Idaho, Montana, I think. We have an ISP called Ziply Fiber. Boop, right there. So I told you guys a while back that a couple weeks ago that I saw that they had 5 gigabit symmetric fiber internet to the home, and it was cheap. Like I said, it was like, I think I told you guys, like $10 more. Well, at least that's what I read. Apparently I saw what I wanted to see. Anyway, I got my first bill, and the first bill was like $30 more than my last payment. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble. The missus is she's gonna find out that I said the wrong thing, and here we are. So I do what every normal person does. I got on the chat, and I had this conversation with a nice gentleman named Aaron. Here's the thing. When I upgraded, like I said, I thought it was $10 more. It turns out it was more than that. It was like 15-ish, but then you add a whole bunch of taxes and bullshit and all that stuff that they add onto it. Because you can't just buy something. There's always a fee upon a fee and whatever, because the consumer's always paying those fees. And I'm talking to the agent. I said, hey, I upgraded to 5 gig, and I thought it was $10 more a month. Turns out my bill is a lot higher. And he's like, hold on a second, let me check. And this is in a little chat bubble right in the bottom right. You can see can't see my mouse, but like the chat bubble right here. This thing, if I click, I'm not gonna click chat, right? I will click chat. So anyway, I filled that out. I'm talking to the dude, and he's like, oh, what's going on? And I told him the story, and he's like, let me look for you. And he's like, yeah, that's the way it is. He says, let me see what I can do for you. I didn't ask for anything because I'm the one that made a mistake. And he's being incredibly nice, like Chat GPT nice. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you go to Chat GPT and you say, give me something like this and do whatever, like it always gives you this positive spin. Like the conversations you have with AI is always, by default, it's always of a positive nature. I mean, they kind of had to build that in, right? You can tell it to be a jerk to you, and it'll be a jerk to you. I think even if you go to ChatGPT, there's like a Monday GPT that will like treat you like crap. And I'm, but the guy's just being super nice. Like, hi, how are you? Thank you so much. Sure, hold on. Please bear with me 1 second while I look up your account. Blah, blah, blah. Sure. I'm just being nice back. I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm here for this, right? And he comes back. He says, yeah, this is how much it is, but I can get you a $25 discount because you're a long-term customer, which I am. I've been there for years, because it really is the best ISP in the Pacific Northwest here. I can get you a $25 discount every month for the rest of the year, for a full year. Excuse me. I'm like, $25. Wow. I was just going to have them say, thank you, I was wrong, move on with my life. And so he's like, yeah, I can do this for you. And he says, please hold, and please bear with me while I do this. And so he's doing this thing, little chat bubbles, doodling, whatever. And he's like, how's your day? I'm thinking, how's my day? So I'm like, sure, I'll lean in on this. I'm like, my day's pretty good, kind of boring, just working at, just doing work here. I was working at the same time I was doing this, and it's pretty chill. And then I said to him back, I'm like, how's your day, man? A little chat bubble dancing for a little bit, pops up. He's like, I'm so glad you're here having a good day. I sure hope that your evening is even better. My day is going well. Thank you for asking. And he's like, I'm almost done. Bear with me. I'm just like, why is he so nice? Why is he? I'm just checking this thing. You already gave me $25 off for a year. That's awesome. And there's a little bit more conversation, and I'm looking through my notes because I had to write this down. And he says, okay, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Because you were so nice, I'm going to give you an extra $15 off a month for a year. And like, because I'm thinking to myself, like, because I treated you like a human? Like, I don't like, so just checking in with them, they gave me $40 off a month for 1 year, which incidentally took my bill down to $5 cheaper than it was before I upgraded from 2 to 5 gigabit. And so here's the questions. 1, was it an agentic AI with a lot of like free discretion to help customers as long as they were kind to them? Or was it a human being? 2, being really nice to somebody, or just being nice to somebody gets you $40 off a month? I really know that's not a question. Now I think about it, that's not a question, but it is like, of course, being nice to people. So it's the right thing to do. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't be incentivized to do it. Yeah, like there's a good point here. Look, be overly wary of nice people. You know what? I couldn't agree more. Like coating things with sugar coating stuff, like that's just weird. But, and I guess the third question is like, how much wiggle room does an ISP have per customer a month to like turn the knobs? I mean, it's a kind of a sunk cost deal, right? You invest a ton of money to build out your network. You dig your trenches, you roll your fiber, you go your last mile, you put this, it's a GPON network, right? So you get your distribution points and your backhauls, and you get all that stuff done. And it's a lot of money up front, but then it's done. And at that point, every bit you make after you pay off that hardware is basically just free money. So, because the bits cost them money. Their peering agreements, their interactivity with other upstream ISPs who are doing, international or cross-country peering, that kind of stuff. Obviously, that costs them money too. But it must be just so damn cheap. It just must be so incredibly cheap. And what did Allison say? I'm going to throw this on the thing here. I try to be nice to the folks on the help desk. It's not their fault and usually don't have the power to fix it. But if you're nice to them, they can pass you on to someone who can fix it. Well, that's words of wisdom. We should always be kind to people. Don't get me wrong. And what did we say? Margin on profit margin. Yeah. I mean, long story short, be nice. First off, after this, go get on your ISP's webpage, go talk to the chat and just say, hey, is there anything you can do for me to save me some money on my internet? And I bet you, I'm not going to bet you any money, a friendly bet that they do something for you, because that's amazing. But so right now, officially, and this is one of those am I the asshole moments, but I am paying $85 a month for 5 gigabit symmetrical internet, and I feel good about it. Anyway, if we had some people in the chat who were like ISP people, they could tell us, but I'm willing to bet you. So what did Levick say? Sorry, not that one. What Levick's chat? These are moving so quickly. Levick said, I wish I could, but Verizon 100% has people you talk to, and they all want to do is upsell you back to the 1 gig plan. Yes, I'm sorry. Verizon is a tough cookie to nut to crack, cookie to crumble. Did I ever tell you guys that I'm not very good at euphemisms? Anyway, all right, let's move on. So I do want to talk about where I was at last week, because it was kind of an interesting experience. I even got some I wish I could just do like that. Yeah. So I was at Nutanix's big shindig called .next, which is their, you've ever been to VMware Explorer, VMware World? Yeah, VMware Explorer. It used to be called Explorer, whatever it's called. I'm not sure what they call it anymore because it's Broadcom, and it probably is called Dumpster Fire 2025. That's what I would think it's called. But, or Microsoft Ignite, those big conferences, like, it's all about the ecosystem around their industry, the thing that they sell, all the customers, all the vendors. And I've been to a few over my span, VMworld, like VMware's Explorer, whatever it is. Like it was, again, before Dumpster Fire 2024, that it was huge. It was like in Vegas. This one I went to was in San Francisco. It's like the entire massive. Anyway, Nutanix is a little smaller, but I wanted to show, I took some video footage. Let's walk through it, shall we? I'm bringing you guys along. Let's go. Does that work? So this, I hope that's not playing any audio because I thought it turned off. This was the entrance into their vendor hall. Like, oh, look, it's all smoky. A lot smaller than I was expecting, right? It's just kind of like and this was again in DC in the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. That's kind of nice how it doesn't auto replay, so I'll press the boot token. But it was really cool. They did a good job. But all of the vendors, all of the companies that were there inside of their solutions hall, as they like to call it, were basically companies that specifically interacted with Nutanix. Whereas other conferences I've been to, the conferences are really about like does it run in a hypervisor? Then we can be there and try to sell our product, because we're all in the same thing. So, and maybe that'll come in the future. But the one thing I wanted to say, I'm going to switch back to my face here, that I found really interesting about this, because again, I'm not saying I'm super special, but I've been to a few of these conferences, as I'm sure many of you in this chat have been. But the vibe at Nutanix and the company is, and this is professional Rich talking, is really different than anything I think I've ever experienced in terms of professional life. Like, you go there, and I had an opportunity, and not as Two Guys Tech Rich, but just as a professional. Although I did get recognized, that was kind of neat. That was a very humbling moment. But you go there as a professional, and you're trying to learn this stuff. And I had an opportunity to talk to their lead architect of their AHV hypervisor. I talked to a bunch of people who are part of like the CE stuff, like the Community Edition, because that's Community Editions are really important to me. I made a video about it. Any company that's willing to create a community edition of their software is a saint, and they should be, hailed as such. But like, it's the kind of place that I think that I could even like just go and say, hey, I'd like to talk to the CEO. I'm sure the dude's a billionaire, like all of them, and he'd probably just sit down and have like an earnest conversation, because that's just their vibe. But it was weird. It was weird because like I could ask them real questions. In fact, I'm gonna make a video that'll probably go out tomorrow morning, or maybe tonight. I don't know. Whenever I get it done, about their big announcement of what we'll talk about here in a second. But like I do get the distinct impression that they're really like super friendly in a way that I have never seen before with another company. Like, of course, companies are friendly. They want you to beat their customers. They want you to buy their products. Don't get me wrong. They're not. It's not like these people are like. They're not like the taxi cab driver who's like super nice and then gets weird, or the Ziply guy who's just super nice and gives you stuff. But they're way more down to earth. Anyway, so let's take a look. This was I took a bunch of video because, of course, I'm a YouTube guy. I'm always what do you think I'm doing? I'm taking video all the time. Anyway, I'm not going to use any of that video, but I did want to show, this was their solutions, or not solution, but this was their, no, that's not it. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm sorry. Is it this one? Press play. There it is. It's just doing weird stuff. So this was their like general session hall. This is where all the big announcements, everything, like 3 giant screens. It was quite an impressive. I'm gonna keep playing again because this is not looping. So cool. I can click. But just, and my camera for some reason was I promised my lenses were clean. I promise, but that halo doesn't say as much. So moving on. So the big announcement that they did there, and then we'll hop into it, was do I have it up here? I didn't put it in there. Oh, we'll just get back to this one. The big announcement was that the secret, if you will. By the way, there's a secret that you guys weren't in on, but it was the worst kept secret, and maybe you knew, the worst kept secret in the virtualization industry, and that was that Nutanix was planning on fully disaggregating and allowing third-party storage into their virtualization stack. So no more pure HCI if you don't want it. You can get an array from Pure, which was the big announcement there. They've also got some other ones coming too, which they were really tight-lipped about, but I may have intimated in the video who they are. So if you watch the video, don't say who it is, because I thought I was being clever, and maybe just telling you guys was the wrong idea. Shit. Anyway, so their big announcement was that they're fully integrating with Pure. And what that means is that you'll be able to use a Pure array, very specific 2 models, or X and XL, and they're going to allow that. And that, the thing is, I'm not a Pure shop. Pure's really expensive. So people who have Pure in their environment have money, a lot more money than I do. It's not something you're going to have in your home lab anytime soon, that's for sure. So that was kind of one of my big disappointments, is that they decided that I had hoped that we would see disaggregation mean that maybe you're inking special deals with the big dudes over here and the big dudes over there, but eventually we'd have iSCSI, or we'd have NFS, or we'd have something else. And that is not the case. They're using NVMe over TCP. It only supports 2 arrays, the X and the XL. And it's not shared storage. That's the other thing. At least the Pure implementation is not shared storage. If anyone in the chat here is a VMware person, has ever heard of vVols, virtual volumes, which is a Pure thing where your VM is in a virtual volume and it's only theirs and it's supportable. That's what they're doing. That's the short answer. So I talk about it in the video coming up, and I kind of tear it apart because I want openness. I want customer choice. I want freedom of choice. And I think that making proprietary interfaces and connections via specific plugins and APIs to talk to only specific hardware is the wrong choice. There, I said it. Now you don't have to watch the video. But what did Leavix say here? Leavix, you said, yeah, Pure is great. We've got quite a few in our, for databases, like high IOPS, they are the best. Terry, it's funny you mentioned I want Seagate hard drives. There was somebody who and it wasn't you, because, I mean, it better not have been you. Someone literally before I went on the show live made some comment about, remember I made a quick video like, I lost a Seagate hard drive. It was the old 3 terabytes. This was years ago at this point. And the dude says, as a reply to me, don't be a liar. Seagate drives are terrible. And basically says the only drives that are good are IBM drives. I'm like, IBM doesn't make drives. And I'm just like, come on. Come on, guys. Just like, if any of you have ever looked at Backblaze numbers, Backblaze is a big cloud storage vendor. You can pay to have an S3 bucket or, basically blob storage, whatever you need in the cloud. Every quarter they release their like list of failed drives, and they have hundreds of arrays. Like they're a cloud storage provider. Shit, they got things for days, and then they release the numbers, and basically all hard drives last about 3 years solid, and then some of them die more quickly than others, but that's about it. What did you say? I just saw that pop up there. Where's it at? Just out. Where'd Eric say? This is going too fast. There you go. Eric said, which one are you going to be on Talking Heads? Good question. I have to, should reach out to him. See. Anyway, not anytime soon. But, so the Pure thing was, it was good. It was, I mean, I'm happy. I'm really happy because there's a post they had here. Let's see if this is readable to you, friends. No, come on. Show me the thing. Oh, it's because I have 2 showing, guys. I don't know how this works. And see, we can zoom in on that because it's a good video. But basically, it's Nutanix showing off how quickly they're consuming VMware customers. And that's I mean, I don't wish anything. So I had made a lot of good connections and relationships with people at who worked at VMware, and those people were put in a tough position, right? When Evil Corp came to town and bought up all the, again, what the analogy is today, it was tough, but man, they are. That's true, Eric. That's a good point. Like I have a chat with him. I'll ping him sometime, see if he wants to do something in person. That'd be awesome. Anyway, consuming people left and right, like adding 700 plus new customers in a quarter. I mean, that's, where those customers are coming from? They're coming from VMware. Goodbye. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Anyway, the video will come out in a couple days. Check it out. So let's switch some gears. What do you say? You guys want to switch some gears? And I'm kind of tearing through this. I'm kind of excited. I missed you guys. This is a lot of fun for me. I don't think it's probably, doesn't really. It's a good way to waste a Tuesday night, right? Cheers to my Diet Dr. Pepper. Okay, so I have a crazy idea. It's not really crazy, but let me show it to you. This right here is a Ubiquiti U7 Pro XG. It looks like that. Share my screen. Right, that's what it looks like. And welcome back, Dave. Then get him to sponsor me. Gotta get White Monster. If we're gonna do White Monsters, then we gotta say, "Hold me now." We gotta get a little Creed in here, right? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so I bought this before I left. Oh, my picture's very teeny weeny. This is the U7 Pro XG. I didn't get this sent to me. I'm too small of a YouTuber to have Ubiquiti, to be a Ubiquiti shill, and that's fine. I'd much prefer just to do this myself, because what I'm going to do with this may not be very happy, positive. But at my house right now, I have 3 access points, but 2 of them are functional. I've got an AC Pro from back in the day, like everybody has an AC Pro hiding in a closet somewhere, and then I also have a U6 LR over here. Boop, right there. That is my primary AP. That's its, like, I mean, I made a video about this because my life is making videos about my life. Maybe it's more of a vlog than a tech channel. And I put this there, and it's been great. It's been fine. I mean, I have no complaints about the U6 LR. Back in the day, we put one in John's house, and it was, I mean, dude could pick up his Wi-Fi a block and a half away from his house. That tells you something. They are incredible. They're really solid. I didn't realize it was still showing the comment there, so let me undo that. Anyway, so, but the thing is, something's changing in my network at home. I have devices that are having a harder and harder time getting internet access. And I'm not sure where the culprit is. Like, it's one of those things. Look, guys, you know this as well as I do. Wi-Fi is a bit of black magic. And I don't mean we as humans don't understand signal propagation. We don't understand like how we're multiplexing bits and MIMO and throw out, like, we understand the charged electromagnetic spectrum. We got that down for the most part, right? We can squeeze bits into a tighter and tighter signal all day long. We got that down. What I mean by black magic is that the difference between what it's like with Wi-Fi in a lab where you're developing it and Wi-Fi in your house I think mostly, but can be literally a night and day experience, right? You throw up an AP, you think it's in a good central location in the house, you fire it up, things are fine, but then you start walking around like, why? I just walked around the corner. You know, like things like what's in your walls impact how much that signal can pass through those walls, right? Some things absorb RF better than other things and different frequencies of that. Thing is, when they're designing Wi-Fi, we all know that the Wi-Fi that's being designed is being done in an anechoic chamber, and it's like, here's your test, here's your AP, boom, we got gigabit. Congratulations, right? I mean, literally, I'm not by any means like exaggerating. That's literally how they do it. They're testing in a fixed thing because you're talking about dealing with physics. And you get that into a home, my home, your home, at work, in a warehouse where you've got a bunch of really tall steel racks that are clear and see-through, but those metal posts make a huge difference. Like, all of a sudden, the Wi-Fi that you thought you were putting so much into just becomes a nightmare. Anyway, so like I said, I've got an AP in the ceiling. It's actually out in the other, it's right behind this wall. One downstairs, the AC in the garage, and I have another one it's there to bolster IoT devices because some of these IoT devices are really crappy and they need something really close. But something's changed. Something in the world of Rich has gotten less reliable, and devices in other parts of the house now are just losing connectivity. It could be that the APs are starting to wane in functionality. My AC Pro it's a solid 7 years old, maybe. You know, like, things don't last forever, friends. You know that. So the plan is this goes up on the ceiling and we see the difference. But just instead of just being like, you know, instead of walking out there and being like, oh, it's better with just using my gut, I have a secret power weapon here. This. God, I have to move over a little bit here. This guy, I could just go full screen so I can actually see myself. Wouldn't that be good? Y'all know that I'm going to remove this for a second. Go full screen. This is an Ekahau SK2. What is an Ekahau SK2, Rich? Anybody in the chat know what Ekahau is? Who Ekahau is? But I'm not going to leave you waiting. Ekahau is a company that makes Wi-Fi testing equipment, and it's ridiculously expensive. Like, this thing was at the time it was purchased worth $10,000. I don't own this thing, but I know people who do. Obviously, because it's in my hand. I just walked in and bought it. This guy has, I don't believe this model actually supports Wi-Fi 7, which is fine because I have nothing in my house that uses Wi-Fi 7. But this guy will let me map the house down to each room, give me a real map of how the signal propagates throughout the home. I will do all of that, and then I will swap things around, put this guy in place, and I will see if spending $199, whatever the hell this thing cost, was actually worth the money. I mean, even if it isn't, what am I going to do? Return it? Maybe. No, probably. Who am I kidding? I'm going to keep it. But the thing is, I won't have to trust, but I can actually verify using this guy. So I'm going to do that this weekend. I'll do a full scan, talk about all the doodads and whatnot, and this thing is super cool. It is this entire satchel. They call it a satchel because it hangs on your hip like a satchel. This is just the radio, and there's a bunch of radios in this, not just one. So antennas pointed in all different directions so that it can kind of sense it. You walk around and it builds this heat map, and everything is recorded and put onto, of course, an iPad. That's what everything goes on to. So we'll do that. So I'm looking forward to that because, you know, the one thing I think that you have as a problem with a lot of YouTube content that exists, and I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not also responsible for doing a little bit of this too, but there's times when, like, you don't really prove out what you're doing. You show it off, you show that it can do it, but like, how something especially like the Wi-Fi's, how do you know that even for your own edification that it's actually going to work? Anyway, we're going to do that. But, you know, I was looking at this and I did want to talk with you guys a little bit and get, you know, just kind of clear some air on some stuff because back to this. So my U6LR, which we are all just collectively saying in the chat, is a really great AP, and it is a really great AP. It's one of my personal favorites from Ubiquiti because I bought it and I like it and I'm biased. But you look at the some of the specs on their little thing here. Like, so this thing claims, the U6LR claims a 2,000 foot coverage, 2,000 foot squared. So that's a cube, right? It claims 350 connected devices, 8 streams of Wi-Fi 6, access point, dual radios, 2.4 and 5. Yeah, we all know that, right? That's cool. Compared to what I bought, which is the U7 Pro XG, it has a 1,500 square foot coverage, 300 connected devices, 6 streams of Wi-Fi 7, triple radio, tri-band radio, right? There's 2.4, 5 and 6 because it's Wi-Fi 7, and you know that's 6 gigahertz. Has 10, 5, 2.5, and 1 gigabit support, and a status LED. So if you look at this from like just a side-by-side standpoint comparison, technically the U6LR in terms of its client support and coverage is greater by another 500 square feet. And sorry for people who are in Europe. I know that we're using the imperial system here because we're imperialists, whatever that comes out to. Somebody throw that in the chat. What is that in metric? Anyway, so I think that there will be a question of whether, because this thing has less of a throw, and that's why I would describe, if you're 500 square feet less of coverage, and I would say it's got less of a throw. So we'll see what that does. Like, I'm not going to run 10 gigabit to it. I don't like, there's not well, I take that back. I think technically my iPhone is a Wi-Fi 7 chipset in it, but I don't need that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I'm not going to run a 10 gig connection up. I can't even run a 10 gig copper connection up. I would have to convert it from SFP plus to 10 gig. So I'm not going to do that and then throw a PoE injector on. So I'll just use what I've got, right? It'll be 1 gig. Maybe I'll find a way to get to 2.5, whatever. But point being is, it's going to replace the U6LR, and we will see what it does. But yeah, I wish I could. The way that I do my streaming here, I can't show these side by side without doing a whole bunch of clickety-click junk, which is super, super annoying. MIMO. Let's get the MIMO at the top. MIMO. Let's get the MIMO at the top. So, you know, it's 2x2. Download, upload, multi-user MIMO max. Yeah, 6 gigahertz, 5.8 gigabits. Yeah, I don't think I knew about that. Yeah, but the other thing here is the key thing is like the max transmit power. What does this look like? 5.5 dB on the antenna gain for 5 gig and 4 on 2.4. So it's got less gain on the 5 gig, same on 2.4, and the max power is 24 dBm on 6.5 and 23 on 2.4, and this is 26 and 24, 26, and 23. Interesting numbers. So I mean, in terms of its max transmission power, it's basically the same thing for 5 gigahertz. The U6LR's got better range. We all know that. God, I've been ignoring the chat. I'm sorry. Say, Coral Dayton is running a AC Lite Pro, or an AC Lite LOL. I saw LOL and said Pro, but all right. I'm being taken to task by Allison. Actually, the U.S. uses the American customary units, not imperial. Example, the U.S. gallon is smaller than an imperial gallon. Okay. Problem is, I think you're right, and I can't argue with that. So, but do you have a yard? There was something I saw recently, like all the goofy like standards that we, or names for things that we don't use in the apparently the American system, like hands and all that kind of stuff. But freedom units, there we go. Terry for the win. Terry's always got a quip. There it is. We only deal in freedom units. I can't even say that with a straight face. All right. Anyway, so U7 Pro XG. I'm looking forward to that. I hope that'll be something that'll be valuable to people too, because we talk about this a lot. Like, what does something actually do for you? Like, you drop this money and like, is it better? Maybe. We'll see. Remove this thing here. And of course, I have yet to provide you guys the promised PBS. Oh, we should look at that. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks now. So let's pull up my Proxmox. It's HTTPS PBS. Okay, this is unsafe. Did you guys know that, by the way? I'm not even sharing my screen. When you get one of those, if you're a Chrome user and you get one of those, this is untrusted site. If you just type in "this is unsafe" on your keyboard, no spaces, the window will go away, so you can get straight to the goods. Let's boost this up so we can actually see it together. Boop. All right, you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm still using root. Hot. I don't have a subscription, guys. All right, so this has been running pretty solid for me. Like I said, I've been working on. I wrote the whole script for the video, and then I traveled for a week, so I haven't done anything. So, but I did want to see how much this is actually consumed after all this time. 1 group, 16 snapshots, 22 groups. Oh yeah, because I had that. So I've used 1.7 terabytes out of the 81.7 terabytes on it, and I would love to see. Can I show me the content? I'll go back. My retention policy was 15 dailies, 4 months, and I think 1 year was the set that I set. I would have to drop into Proxmox and see. I think I talked about it in the video. But the thing that I thought I was seeing, and I don't know if I can see it from here, I think I'd have to go to Proxmox itself, was it did feel like the machines that were off, it wasn't doing like change block tracking or differentials. It was doing the whole VM over and over again. And that was, I don't know if I can see that from here. But garbage collection. There are no garbage collections yet. Cool. I'm doing this live, and if this blows up, then I still have that running there. I left the freedom units up there. I gotta give them a shout out. Throw it up there. I guess I got everybody a shout out. So, Livix, Coral Dayton, I know where your loyalties lie. We got some Veeam people in the audience. I like it. Okay. What'd you say, Dave? My thing is not catching up here. There it goes. Fine. Come over this side. You should go a guide on adding Let's Encrypt. I should. I need to. That's a side note. I need to fix my track. I gotta get my certificates in order at home. You guys would be ashamed of me. I'm gonna air some dirty laundry here. Just so you know, I'm the kind of guy who's still running self-signed certificates for everything at home. Meanwhile, all my friends and connections are like, "Hey, aren't you dumping it through a proxy and it's just rewriting your SSL certs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not. Just haven't had the time." I can always type "this is unsafe" on the keyboard. You guys know this. When you do it as a day job, there's the things that you just kind of consume as like, this is my life now, and certificates is one of those. I hate. I'm off on a tangent here, but dear Lord, if I could find the people who make the decisions on certificates, or the person who invented this is the way forward, because I would just. Because certs are not friendly. It's not fun. Like this is what we got. 2025, and we live with certificates. And was it the browser forum keeps turning down the knob on certificate expiration time until to the point which it's just going to be ephemeral, where every day you're going to get a new cert, and it just drives me nuts. Okay. Ryan said something here. Let's throw it up on the screen here. Brian says, you found the proxies don't work well for PV and PBS. It causes odd issues with certain features, but they both have Let's Encrypt built in with the DNS plugin. So yeah, I need to, you're right, guys. I need to do it. I got to figure it out, but it's inside too. And I don't know, what I need to figure out, and it's probably super easy. I take this for what it's worth, as I haven't looked, but I haven't really looked into as to how it's supposed to reach out and verify or validate a cert, right? So anyway, I just did a thing over here, and I want to go back to it. Let's go back to the boot. There it is. A garbage collection. And it didn't remove anything. So that means I have no garbage, right? If garbage collection ran and there's no garbage to collect, there's no garbage. Anyway, so I am pleased to see how little this is using it. As a side note, and this will make Coral Dayton in the chat happy and others, I'm still running Veeam against PVE concurrently. Not at the same time. The backup windows are offset. I'm not crazy. I'm not a madman. I mean, I have the bandwidth for it, but I'm not going to do that. But I am still backing up using Veeam, and it's still churning away too. We should go look at that. Not now. We'll look at it some other time. But yeah, I promise you, this is coming. It's not going to be the next video, because the next video is more time sensitive. But it will probably be the video after that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm too far ahead of myself. There we go. We got good questions in the chat. Does Veeam support CDP in Proxmox? I think there's an individual in the chat who may have an opinion on that. Let's see if that individual is still paying attention. I don't know off the top of my head, Eric, but I know someone who would. And Eric, by the way, we have a Discord, and in that Discord, we have people who are really good with Veeam in that Discord. And I did it. There, I did my plug. Brandon's not here to stop me. I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want. Anyway, so this is going good. I'm happy to see that. It didn't fail or die on me. Everything's fine. I think what I would like to do with Proxmox, if I end up staying with PBS and not going to Veeam, because I'm already running Veeam too, is I might set PBS and the physical server is running on, to shut down until the backup window starts, just so I can save some power, because it's standalone. There we go. Coral Dayton got it. He in the chat right there with it. You know what? I'm going to read this because I can. No, it only supports hardware CDP at the moment. I can talk to you about on other channels, though. Eric Potter, he even thinks you. Okay. Thought there was an IRC. No. I think what Eric is saying here is that he thinks I'm really old. Hey, look, man, I'm hip. I'm on the Discords. There's IRC. I mean, I could. I like IRC just as much as anybody else. All right. What else? Oh, and then of course, where's it at? Stand by. And I've got this bad boy still. I still got to get this thing going too. This is going to be an ordeal, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But this MikroTik switch, I need to redesign the network that I have running to make this work. And this MikroTik switch got some big cojones. Did I say that right? I don't speak Spanish. In terms of what its layer 3 routing capabilities are. And because it's got two 100 gig connections in there, I want to try to fully utilize as much of that on my dinky little 10 and 25 gig network. I want 100 gig routing. So anyway, we're getting close to that time, friends. I am going to switch back to this. I had a great time with you tonight. I sure hope you had a great time with me. It's rainy and crappy in Oregon right now. The sun went away, and here we are. But I'll do my spiel, and then we can bring this to a close. My name is Rich, and this is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. We got a Discord. We have hats. I make cool stuff. It all helps keep the channel going. You guys are awesome. Get on the Discord. Eric Potter, join the Discord. You can talk to. I know Coral Dayton's in that Discord. I know that. And the last thing is, we do an after show combo deal where I after, because this is very. I mean, I know this is kind of bidirectional. Like, you're chatting, I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. I'm gesticulating a lot. This is a thing I do. And so go Ducks. I'm not an Oregon native, so the beavers and the ducks don't mean anything to me. I'm sorry. Okay. I can't. I want to. Maybe I can. There's a thing that lets me do it. I can grab that. Let me see if I grab it. One of you guys drop the Discord channel. Just go to the YouTube channel, click on the links, and click the deal. Anyway, go check out homelabgear.shop if you want to look at our stuff. Join our Discord. Enjoy the stuff. It was great hanging out with you guys. I know we're a little early. I got to go to the restroom, and then I'm going to hop on with everybody at the in the channel. So thank you so much. See you next week. Brandon will be back. He'll be able to run the back behind the scenes, and I won't look so goofy. Thank you guys. We'll see you again in 7 days. See ya.